Hello, my name is Victoria and I'm going to be talking about the SIOP model. This is an acronym that means Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol. It was developed to make content material more comprehensible to English learners, and it has 8 components that will be talked in this video. The first one is the lesson planning. It is critical for both the students and the teacher for maximum learning, to target specific goals, and to make connections between what they know and what they are being taught. You first have to clearly define content and language objectives. Content objectives describe what the students will be learning during this lesson, and language objectives describe how they will be learning them. You need supplementary material for them to understand and complete more cognitively demanding tasks. This means like hands-on manipulatives, pictures, visuals, multimedia, etc. You have to make meaningful activities that promote language development in all skills. The second component is building background. Concepts must be directly related to the student's background experiences when possible. For example, use concepts linked to student backgrounds. You can ask them questions preview on upcoming topics such as have you ever seen a rat, or how do usually people feel about rats. Also, make links between past learning and new concepts. For example, through a discussion such as who remembers what we learned about and how does that relate to our story. Use key vocabulary emphasized that is related to the subject matter that the students are studying. Also, develop content language by using like glossaries, concept definition map, word sorts, word generations, etc. Also, develop school language and introduce the objective of the lesson in a way students can understand. The third component is comprehensible input. The teachers must use a speech that is appropriate to the students' language proficiency levels. This refers to the rate of enunciation, which means how the teacher speaks, and also the complexity of speech, which means what is said. The students who are at the beginning levels of English proficiency benefit from a teacher who slows down the rate of speech, use pauses, and enunciate clearly while speaking. You have to have a clear explanation of the academic tasks, and the perfect way to present them is in a step-by-step manner. You can use also a variety of techniques used to make the concepts clear. For example, use gestures, body languages, pictures, preview the material, use multimedia, but more importantly, be concise. The fourth component is strategies. This includes techniques, methods, and mental processes to enhance comprehension for learning and retaining information. There are 3 types of learning strategies. The first one is metacognitive strategies. This is the process of purposefully monitoring our thinking. The second one is cognitive strategies. This helps students organize the information they are expected to learn through the process of self-regulated learning. And the third one is the social and affective strategies. Cognitive psychology as a social and affective influences on learning. You can use the scaffolding technique, which is to provide a substantial amount of support and assistance in the earliest stages of teaching, and decrease the amount of support as the learners acquire experience through multiple practice opportunities. You can also use questioning, promote a strategy by asking questions that promote critical thinking. The fifth component is interaction. Further interaction with others is an important component of reading instructions for increasing motivation and comprehension. Talking with others allows us to oral rehearse for learning. The teacher can make grouping configurations. These are characterized by a variety of grouping structures, including individual work, partners, triads, small groups, cooperative learning groups, and the whole group. Also, the wait time is an important part of this component. You have to allow students to express their thoughts fully without interruption. Also, allow them to discuss their answers with the partner before sharing it with the group. Have more advanced students write their response while waiting. To clarify key concepts, you have to clarify the vocabulary and language concepts in the student's first language when possible. Use bilingual professionals, teachers, and peers who can help clarify these concepts. Also, use native language text, dictionary, and word lists as tools. The sixth component is practice and assessment. The lesson should include multiple opportunities to use hands-on materials or manipulatives to learn and practice the content. Also, it should include activities for students to apply content and the language knowledge that they are learning. When you are presenting new content or abstract concepts, you need to present them in a personally relevant way that sparks a student's prior knowledge and experiences. For example, keep personal learning journals, play games, write tests so that other students can answer them, and teach a concept to another student, which leads us to our next part, which is encourage students to discuss, interact, and work together to make these concepts more concrete. This can be made by making graphic organizers, solving problems, engaging in discussions, or partnering with students for projects. The seventh component is lesson delivery. It includes how well the stated content and language objectives are supported during the lesson, to what extent students are engaged in the lesson, and how appropriate the pace of the lesson is to the students' abilities. First, the content objectives. If we write them, it reminds us of the focus of the lesson, providing a structure to classroom procedures. The language objectives, they benefit from having a clear, simple language objective written for them to see and stated to them to hear. The student engagement has three aspects that should be considered. The allocated time, which is the time they spend studying on a topic, the engaged time, which is the time the students are actively participating, and the academic learning time, which focuses on student time on task. The pacing is the rate at which information is presented during a lesson. The pace depends on the nature of the lesson and as well as the level of the student's background knowledge. Last but not least, the eighth component, which is review and assessment. Throughout this lesson, and especially at the end, it is important to determine how well the students have understood and how well they have retained key vocabulary and content concepts. The determination of whether to move on or to offer additional instruction and support is the key to an effective assessment and instruction. Effective children instructions involve reviewing important concepts, providing constructive feedback through clarification, and making instructional decisions based on the student's response. This was all for the SIOP model. I hope you become a better teacher, and thanks for watching.